with more Heartstopper. This is episode 3 of season 3. Very excited, as always, to carry on. Very trepidatious as well, because I know the angst is just going to get worse from here. So we'll see what this brings today with this episode. An amazing episode last time as well, you know, properly starting to delve into Charlie's eating disorder. A lot of his loved ones kind of noticing something was up and voicing their concerns, and Charlie kind of was accepting that something was wrong at the end as well, which is a great first step to make. So I am assuming we're going to really lean into that even more going forward. There's already a much more of kind of a mature tone and theme to this season, I think, which season 2 also had against season 1, but given the subject matters they're exploring this season, I think it makes sense. But it's still maintaining, you know, the heart-stopperiness of it that still makes it strangely comforting, even though everything's horrible for everyone. But yeah, very excited to see what's going to happen next, so let's get into the next one. 6:45. Ugh. Wonder if that's one of Isaac's books that he's borrowed.
You should think about applying to be a prefect. You've got a real shot at it.
I was a prefect. I think Tara's feeling quite pressured. This place looks really nice. I like the vibe of like the campus.
I'll see you at lunch.
Wholesome.
See you at lunch.
You have to be sneakier than that.
Why is it always her who spots on this kind of stuff?
How's it going out?
Here we go. And everything will stay that happy forever.
It's your birthday on Saturday. I'm going to organise something. It will distract me from, you know, my brain.
It's good to be distracted.
See you at lunch then. They do benches.
Choose a place you both feel safe.
Oh, I love that we're still getting more advice.
Mention the things that have
Just writing it down. I can't. Oh my god.
Avoid making the conversation about food and weight.
Yeah.
You okay?
Mentioning lunch.
He's fortunate to have you.
He is.
Eat in the art room. Just us. Yeah. Sounds good.
Yeah, that's where Charlie used to hide out, wasn't it? Oh, that is so real. That like anxiety symptom. I get that a lot.
So am I. Okay, what are we? You're imagining your whole life, your relationship. Well, Charlie is, so like I. No, I'm not. Who are you eating lunch with today? Nick? Well, yes, but you two need to get a life, I swear.
Oh, you don't understand. No.
Mr. Ajayi, do you mind if I eat lunch? My brain isn't good at the moment.
Well, that's okay. We all have bad brain days.
Yeah.
I love that he's opening up to him about it.
I have a lot of rules about
What happens if you break the rules?
I don't know. But
So that's, yeah, like an obsessive compulsive sort of thing.
bad.
Aww. I love teachers who really obviously care.
We've not been sleeping well.
Don't know, I'm just got no energy.
That was good for
Mood.
something.
Supposed to be a surprise. Elle's coming.
Oh.
But is Evan coming?
You didn't have to.
Wish I had a boyfriend. James, no. I need at least one single friend, okay?
Mm.
So, you're like aromantic? What? Do you know what that is?
Ah.
Yeah. I read a book where there was an aromantic character.
Aw. It's nice that he has someone who like really gets it as well.
You eating lunch there?
Yeah. If they've got stuff I like. Oh,
Hi. Happy birthday.
trying to get him to talk to your parents.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Oh, this is so wholesome. He has a whole like group of who love and support him. Aww. They should have invited James as well, so Isaac had at least someone to hang out with all the time.
Wait, I need to get a video of this. Look at mini Charlie. Smile.
Seems a bit cold to me.
Come on, Charlie. I'll take it.
Oh, he doesn't like seeing himself in pictures either.
That's his selfie. Come on. Take the lever in it. Excuse me, ladies.
Don't you hate when people call you ladies? I'm not a lady, it's weird.
You okay?
Being with you guys is like being home.
Oh, look at this.
Oh no, looks like you're stuck with me again. What does that even mean? Why did you have to be so bitter about me and our dating?
I'm not bitter. You've just not been a very good friend lately, Tal. All you care about is your
Oh
relationship.
dear.
If you're so sad about being single, what happened to James?
Okay, I feel like slightly unnecessary, but okay. I think his insecurities are still making him lash out.
Hey, should we go somewhere quieter?
No, it's fine. Sorry.
Oh boy.
Well, I'm not apologising, but neither am I. Cool. Cool. Cool, 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 cool.
God. Fucking teenagers.
I guess I kind of just like the idea of having a cool boyfriend. But when we were actually together, he was pretty boring.
We're supposed to be comforting Isaac right now.
Yeah, none of you helped him, but
Sorry. Maybe we've been ignoring him and all of our friends.
I guess we have a bit. Well, I've been like,
You've been like moping.
yes.
I've been a bad friend too. I barely saw Tara and Darcy all summer. Friends are important. You know this. You got angry at Charlie for doing the exact same thing we
It's
did.
true. It's true. Good point. Self-reflect, sir.
I've had like romance goggles on. It's been great, but I've been a bad friend. You all make it seem like being in a relationship is the most perfect, magical thing anyone could ever hope for. It's just really hard when I know that's not what I actually want. I guess I'm still just coming to terms with that.
Do you think there are any gay
Suppose it can take time. Gay fish.
Yeah, definitely.
Dory.
Flaunting their magical relationships everywhere they went.
Me and Sahara aren't a couple.
But who said we were?
I don't think we're talking about fish anymore.
It changes everything I thought I knew about myself and about my life and my future.
When I first realised I liked Charlie, I cried at an Am I Gay quiz.
Ah, throwback.
We love you. I love you too.
Uh,
I feel really tired.
oh, I think Tal's starting to wonder as well.
Is there something wrong with Charlie? He's been acting so
Cal,
weird.
you cannot talk to him about
But
it.
why?
Because you can barely talk to me about it.
God, there's just so much tension. I don't know what to do.
Thank you gift for the best birthday ever. You reminded me of you.
You are so cringe. I love you.
I love that he's giving gifts on his birthday.
Charlie, is this
There's all the jumpers he's stolen.
Every jump.
Aww, that's so sweet. Oh, man.
you like it then?
It's too wholesome. I just
I love you.
I can't.
Really stressed and tired. Sometimes you just seem really sad. I really want you to talk to someone. Parents or a doctor or something like that. I'm sorry.
Oh, don't say sorry. I was doing so well.
What if my parents think I'm faking it?
fuck them if they think that.
Also, I read
Oh boy. Oh boy.
it helps to write things down.
Can you imagine how that must feel walking in there and you need that conversation? I mean, I think retroactively they will be able to like see the signs, so I think they'll know.
I've been finding eating really difficult. I feel there's a voice in my head that's not me. Tell me bad things will happen if I eat or do things in the wrong way. And I think I've been like this for quite a long time.
Oh, don't pan to Tori being there. I can't take
I
it.
don't want to admit it, but now it's gotten way worse. So I was thinking maybe I could go to the doctors about it. I want to get better.
Oh, fucking hell. Right. Is everyone okay after that one? Because I'm not. Jesus. That another great episode there. I think particularly at the end, I think it really all came together. Wow. Fuck. I mean, I knew this was going to hurt. But Jesus. Oh, God. Joe Locke, the actor you are, man. Whew. Anyway, where to even begin? I love how boldly they're kind of really going down the story with Charlie and his mental health and his eating disorder. Not shying away from how it's affecting others as well. You know, obviously, I think it's been interesting seeing Nick struggle to kind of know exactly how to cope with it. People kind of picking up on something that's wrong, but maybe they're afraid of crossing the line. I think Mr. J clearly saw the signs like something's seriously wrong here, but, you know, as a professional and as a teacher, would he be going too far trying to push that or not? I imagine that would be difficult as well, because clearly he's always been very empathetic towards Charlie, and I think he's always understood his problems entirely, and I think he just immediately picked up on something being wrong when Charlie mentioned like having rules and stuff about eating, and you know, Nick isn't sure how to approach it. I loved the little flashbacks we got of like more of the conversation with his aunt, and her kind of giving him more advice and him writing it down on that postcard. You know, seeing his parents' reactions at the end as well, and Tori on the steps. Ugh. But now, you know, now they're on the same page and they understand what he's been feeling, and writing it down I think was a great idea. You know, because it just allows him to filter what he was going to say so that he doesn't kind of leave anything out or sound too obscure about things. So that was a really great idea, to kind of write it down and him just read it out. It's probably just easier as well if, you know, he talks about wanting distractions for his brain, you know, and that's why he wanted to do something for Nick's birthday. And it's a perfect distraction in that moment to just concentrate on, you know, reading the words and not necessarily having to equate them to meaning until after you've done it. You know, having to look them in the eye and tell them all that, where you can just read it, I think is a better like distraction, and actually allows you to do that. So yeah, the way they've been tackling this just head on, I think has been really well done. Joe's absolutely smashing it. Kit's absolutely smashing it. And again, another episode, more people are kind of picking up on it. Obviously his parents now probably know. Tao was starting to realise something was wrong, because I think he was there a couple of times when Charlie mentioned how tired he was. Which I relate to. I get tired all the time, especially on bad brain days. I'm constantly getting up at like 1-2 p.m. Just because, like, what have I got to get up for, really? So, you know, I love the realism behind those telltale signs, and the pain Charlie gets there, I get that a lot. You know, the top of your left arm. So clearly there's a lot of like love and research and thought gone into kind of telling the story with Charlie. So I really do appreciate how they're kind of going down with that, but also providing, I guess, distractions for the audience as well by having other things going on, you know, like Tao and Isaac's conflict in this one. Just a few moments of levity at the zoo, setting the stage in motion for other characters as well. I think there's a very telling moment. I mean, last episode as well, when Darcy got rid of the skirt. She's like, you know, I haven't worn this in ages. I think I could be wrong. I know the actor who plays Darcy is non-binary. I think they're kind of going down that path with Darcy as well. And, you know, sowing the seeds with that, and talking about, like, why do they call us ladies, and doesn't that make you uncomfortable? And, you know, they were wearing trousers, and like, oh, if the boys can do it, why can't I? So I think that's where they're heading with that as well. So, you know, while they're really tackling the heart and soul of the story this season with Charlie, I think they are continuing to set up bits as well. Even the Imogen and Sahar stuff, you know, we've kind of seen them hang out a lot so far this season and be quite close and laugh together. And now people are kind of picking up on, like, is something happening there? And I think they're going to directly address it now that they're realising people are noticing something here that maybe we're not necessarily noticing. And, you know, Imogen talking about how she was maybe more interested in the idea of having a boyfriend than just the boyfriend themselves. And the idea of being in a relationship and what that entails and what that means to people. You know, you can be deeply in love like Nick and Charlie, but still going through some serious shit considering how young they are with Charlie's mental health. You know, Darcy and Tara love each other, but, you know, Tara's had a lot of struggles with their mother, and moving in with their gran and everything like that. And I think, again, setting up future story. Last episode, when Mr. Ajay kind of came up to Tara and was like, you know, I hope you're joining this club in, you know, sixth form and stuff because you've got all these great grades. And she had that again with another teacher when she arrived at school for the first day. So I think that pressure's going to start getting to Tara as well. So I think that's kind of a little storyline for her this season. So they're great at kind of just dropping other stories while not taking the focus away from the main thing. And seeing Mr. Farouk and Mr. J kind of, you know, confirm they're dating. I loved, is it Coach Singh, I think is her name? She, like, just caught them having a moment, and it always seems to be her that does that. She did that to Nick and Charlie at the end of season 1 as well, I think. So that was, a bit of levity, a bit of comedy with that. But I like that those two are, like, official and things seem to be going well for them. So that was all very well and good. Tao and Elle's story as well. I love how mature and grounded Elle is. You know, I mean, that's why I think her and Tao make such a good match, because I think they do balance each other out very well. I feel like Tao allows Elle to, you know, have fun and not take things too seriously all the time, whereas Elle can also bring Tao back down to earth and kind of ground him a lot. I think he needs that more often than not. At the end of the day, you know, he's like 16 years old. Everyone's a dickhead at 16. It's just how it is. That's the rules. Except for me, I was lovely. But yeah, they're a great match. I love that Elle was kind of saying, you know, I've been a bad friend. She's kind of realising and taking accountability for it. So they would just hang out all the time rather than giving time for their friends as well. Because you do need to have that balance. And that leans into what Aunt Diane was saying at the end of the last episode about, you know, you may think you're each other's worlds, but that's not a healthy outlook and a healthy mindset to have. And I like that she was talking about Nick and Charlie in that moment, but it kind of applied to like Tao and Elle in this episode as well. And I think they're kind of realising, you know, they need to... Maybe it's an opportunity rather than like it's all the end of the world that they're not going to see each other every day. It just means they can have social lives and widen their circles and bring new people into their lives that might bring as much joy into their lives as they do for each other. And, you know, it's going to give Tao more time to hang out with Isaac. And I love that Elle kind of pointed out, you know, this is exactly what you got mad at Charlie for doing in season 1. She didn't say the words in season 1 because that would have been a bit too meta for Heartstopper. But I love that she pointed that out because it's absolutely true. And that made Tao even realise, like, oh, for fuck's sake, I've been a bit of a dick. Because, you know, he did push it a bit far with the James comment. But that's because he was just completely obtuse and ignorant to Isaac's struggles, just like he was with, you know, he didn't realise what was going on with Charlie until this episode. And, you know, it's not his fault. It's being a 16-year-old in a brand new relationship with someone you really love. You know, you're going to kind of prioritise that. So, you know, I'm a unrelenting Tao defender. Like, come at me. So, you know, I totally get that mindset. And once he realised, you know, he was the first one, he went straight to Isaac and apologised and talked it out. So, yeah, lots of big moments of tension throughout this episode with, like, Tao and Isaac. Tao and Nick having a bit of a moment at the end as well, like, not really knowing, you know, you can't tell Charlie this, don't talk to him about this. And I think that was frustrating for Tao because he wants to know and he wants to help. But it's just such a difficult situation to handle. But now I think everyone's going to be aware of it and handle it now that Charlie's kind of opened up to his parents about it and they can start getting him the help he needs. It's just great. It's lovely that Nick has been there for him, and can do this for him now, kind of encourage him to have that conversation. And, you know, they're just the best. They're just the best. They're so good for each other. So that was great. And Isaac kind of really, I think, calling people out for maybe leaving him as the third wheel. And I felt like he was in a comfortable place and a bit more comfortable with who he was a few episodes back. I remember saying it, you know, kind of realising, yeah, I'm asexual and aromantic. But I like that it's not just like, well, now I know that, everything's 100% fine and I know exactly who I am. You know, I think realising things like that about yourself, it does kind of feel like starting again. So I like that he was kind of honest about that. And I think Isaac can be a very brutally honest character when he needs to be. And this was a great example of that. And I think it's good to be, honestly. You know, again, he can be passag. And I found it funny as an audience member in the previous episodes when he was passag. But he was being like that. And I understand why Tao would find that, you know, frustrating or hurtful. Rather than, because he's not, you know, just an audience member, an outsider. Not being the brunt of the sass. But yeah, I really enjoyed Isaac kind of being upfront and, you know, just telling everyone how he is and who he is, and they can kind of move forward from that. I liked, you know, them kind of relating it to themselves as well, what Nick was kind of saying about the I am gay quiz from season 1. Just knowing that it is like a process. And Isaac even said a few episodes back he knew people would be accepting and supportive if he told them. But, you know, it's still nice to kind of see that and have that affirmed. And seeing James briefly and the fact that he knew all about being asexual and aromantic, that's great that Isaac just immediately had someone, you know, oh wow, you get it. You know, you're my age, you're in my friend circle, you get it. I think that might have been some of the encouragement he needed to actually just outright state, like, you guys have been bad friends and this is how it is for me. So that was a great little push. It was nice to see James again. I didn't know if he was going to pop up again this season or not. So that was lovely. So yeah, they're giving so much more, I think, to characters like Isaac who hadn't had as much in previous seasons. I really like that they're just expanding and expanding and expanding on it, and, you know, having it be Nick's birthday so they can go to the zoo, so then they can kind of use animals and their relationships to kind of equate it to themselves and use that to tell people how you're feeling. That was a really neat idea. You know, I feel like that's why, like, nature documentaries and stuff are so interesting to people, because they do point out, like, oh, you know, these animals can fall in love, they'll have partners for life, or, you know, you can recognise human behaviour in animals as well, and I think that's what people find fascinating about those documentaries. So to see that, you know, be applied to, like, a real life situation and using that to be more comfortable in yourself, I thought was a really nice idea for them to, like, go to the zoo and just have a vibes day there. I mean, the vibes were a bit off for a while when the tension started acting up, but, you know, they got there in the end. So yeah, I'm really intrigued to see where this is going to go in terms of, you know, what's the next step for Charlie. How is he going to get the help? How is his family going to respond to this? How is Nick going to respond? And how his friends are going to, you know, deal with this? Because they've got so much going on in their own lives as well, but they're also going to want to be there for Charlie and help him through it. So, yeah, I'm intrigued by that. Very nervous because the end of this episode really broke me. That was so sad, but so important, I think, to show that moment and show, like, you know, people can do this. There'll be people who are like, I've seen Charlie do this, I can do this now. Kind of myself included, really. So that was just so beautiful and, bittersweet, I guess, at the end. But yeah, I think Charlie's parents will kind of retroactively be like, oh, I can see how this started. I can see what you mean. That the signs were there, and they will now stop frustrating me to no end, I guess. I feel like Charlie's dad's always been quite empathetic in regards to that. I remember him like comforting him after the party in season 1 when he first kissed Nick and stuff. And I don't think it's necessarily Charlie's mum's fault that she's been the way she is. She has been a lot. But we don't know everything about how she was raised or anything like that. But it has been a kind of a point of, oh my god, woman, like, please just see what you're doing. And I think this would kind of be that turning point. And it's so good that there's so many conflicts, and it's not necessarily anyone's fault, other than the fact that they're just young, and that's why there's some of these conflicts coming about. But yeah, I don't know if I have any more to say, but I'm just drained. I'm watching 2 episodes today, and I don't know if I can cope. But yeah, that was an amazing kind of sequence at the end in particular. I think the rest of the episode was like fine and okay. But in particular, that ending really hit hard. And I love that they're just unapologetically showing what people can go through, and they can go through this at any age. And I think going through the things they're going through at this age must be unbearably hard, because you've got hormones and you've got puberty and all this going on at the same time as you're finding out these earth-shattering discoveries about yourself, or you're going through mental health problems and stuff. So yeah, it's a lot to deal with, but I'm glad that people who are going through those things at that age, in particular, obviously at any age, they can relate to it. It's great that they kind of feel like they have a group of people to rely on in terms of like the Heartstopper characters. I can't remember who said it in this episode, but it said like hanging out with you guys or something. It was like, it's like coming home. Someone said something along that lines in this episode, and that really stood out. So it's like, that is what it feels like when you watch Heartstopper and like a new season comes out. It does feel like coming home. So yeah, that was lovely. I really enjoyed the sentiments behind that and the emotions behind this one. It's only going to get worse, but I think things getting worse means that it's being addressed and that Charlie can get better. So it's actually a blessing in disguise, really. So yeah, great episode again. Particularly the kind of very powerful last like 3 or 4 minutes, I would say. And so many of the issues are kind of out in the open now, so we'll see how we kind of push on and continue to deal with that. But yeah, great episode again. I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to happen next. And that's going to be everything for this reaction, and I will see you next time.